There is no other way to put it, but just like you saw in the title, World of Tanks has been cooking with map changes lately. Let's talk about it. World of Tanks has a lot of issues, but one of the biggest ones, if not the biggest in the last few years, has been the maps, and specifically the map design. I think this has gotten to a point where games are unbalanced because of certain OP positions, which one side of the map has and one doesn't. What I truly find disgusting is how Wargaming actually designs those maps, because they have a certain way of making them. Let's take a look at Empire's border, as this might be the perfect example of horrible map design. As you can see, this map is made up of three lines, the north, the mid, and the south. And you could maybe add a fourth that splits the south one into two. But for all intents and purposes, it's three main lines. The pattern of three lines is followed by a lot of other maps in the game. Another good example of this is Abbey. And apparently the reason they did this is because beginners were confused and unable to fight against better players flanking them. What? Anyway, there are a lot of reasons why this is a terrible map design. In this map's case, around 50% of it is literally unplayable because of the huge hills that separate the flanks. And there is only one connection to the other side of the map, which is mostly useless until the end game anyway. The problem with separating flanks is, once you go to a flank, that's it. You pretty much stay there, unless you have a very fast tank and you can easily relocate and change flanks. So, if you lose the flank you are fighting on, you can't retreat or go somewhere else, you just die. I won't go into more detail regarding the map design issues this game has, as this is a topic for another video, but I had to show this as an example to compare the new map changes to. And what better way to start this off than by talking about Airfield, because it's honestly one of the most hated maps in the game, everyone despises it, and it really needed some changes. And oh boy did they change it. So what changes have they made specifically to this map? Well, the better question is, what changes haven't they made? Because this map is a completely different map. It's like you can say new airfield or anything like that. You know, it's not airfield anymore. The only thing that looks like and remains from the old airfield, apart from the deserty look, obviously, is probably the plain strip on the north side of the map. But the rest of the map is absolutely, completely changed. And it's still quite early to tell if these changes are good or not, but at least for now, I think these look really, really good. I must also add that this replay is not my replay, obviously. It's a replay from What Record, so I think if you want to check it out by yourself without my horrible commentary, you can definitely do that. So, the new airfield. Completely new map, as I already said. What did they change exactly? Well, the south side is now completely different, and it is now... Oh, nice ammo rack, by the way. And it's now very playable. Before that hillside, yeah, you could rush that, you could do some aggressive plays around there, but generally it didn't work out well. Well, now it is very playable. It's very open, I might add. This map has become very open, but you have a lot of playable area, and I mean, it's not such a death zone anymore, because one huge thing that has been changed is the TD positions are way worse than before. The TD positions on airfield are nerfed to the ground. They are absolutely horrible. There is barely any places where you can play them, and the thing is, you still have quite a few positions, but they're way less powerful. And a huge thing about this is there is almost no position left that has hard cover as well as bushes, which is something really important. TD positions should obviously exist in the game, but the reason people hate them so much is because they're broken. They're absolutely retard proof. You have a bush, quite a big bush, I should say, in most of these positions. I don't even know where that shell went. It was quite a strange bounce. I think it went to the side, and the 705A, I think, angled at the last second. And yeah, I think it was a weird ricochet nonetheless. But the the TD positions were and are still in on most maps. Erlenberg is a very good example of that. TD positions are overpowered because they have a lot of bushes. So bushes already, you stay hidden until you shoot. But immediately after they shoot, they have very good cover, rocks and buildings and whatever, and they can hide immediately after behind. If you do something which they just did with airfield, you either have hard cover or bushes, not both of them. So that in the bushes, in that situation, you have to get behind the bush, shoot, and then get inside the bush again. And that must actually have some skill. You have to have some skill in order to do that as a player, right? And then hardcover, it's way harder to peek, right? From hardcover without having bushes, right? It's way harder. So you have to be much smarter about playing your TDs, which I think is an absolutely amazing change. So problem number one, OP TD positions. Solved. Easy. And TDs can still play, which is really nice. It's not like they've been completely removed. Now you cannot play your Scorpion, you cannot play your Gorilla 15 and whatever. How about we continue with problem number 2? And that is no more 3-lane or 3-line or whatever I talked about at the beginning of the video. Call it whatever you want. The 3-lane rule, which literally is what it actually means, right? It's the map design should be 3 lanes and nothing else. This has been completely removed. Obviously, when you look at the mini-map, and especially at the heavy side and where the 705 is currently playing, because that's what looks like is actually a lane, you look at that Lanson for a little bit, and you see that he's actually coming from the middle of the map. And not only is he coming from the middle on one route, but there's actually 3 different routes you can take in order to reach this. So in total there are actually 5 ways to the heavy side and heavy flank and heavy fight. And this is amazing. I mean, I cannot fathom and I cannot understand how is this possible? How can you make 3-lane maps and think it's actually good? I don't know, I think the variety is something which makes the game special. And this thing with beginners, you are already making this game so much harder for beginners by actually having tier 9s which need like 150,000 experience to fully max out, and other lower tier tanks actually who have this thing, and also premiums which are completely broken and absolutely destroy the matchmaking and absolutely destroy the free to play and new players, right? The beginners who don't want to spend money, obviously, because this is technically a free to play game, right? You start by, obviously this is a free game and you download it, and some people do not want to spend I don't know, $100 on a very good tank in some loot boxes and just want to have a chill experience, right? And you're telling me that this 3 corridor rule is to not make the beginners have issues on maps? Whatever that reason might be, they've changed that on Airfield. I think it's great. I think this map looks to be very good. On to the next one. Let's talk about Paris now. Some big changes as well on this map, which I think is gonna enhance the gameplay a lot and is gonna make this map way better. And yeah, there's one other thing I did not mention about Airfield because it's not really the case, but on this map, it's definitely the case. And Kems put it the best way possible. You should check out his video on maps because it's an amazing video and he's right on so many things. I mean, it's just outrageous. And the thing I want to talk about is No Man's Land. No Man's Land is pretty much a zone which you cannot play in because you would die instantly. So like imagine the field on Malinovka, right? That would be literally unplayable because you die instantly because TDs are camping at the back and everyone will shoot you, you will get spotted and you will instantly die. And this No Man's Land was on Paris until this update, when they decided to completely change the field. And now pretty much the entire field is playable with these hills and a lot of bushes, which you'll see a bit later, those in front where the 416 is. A lot of bushes now, so lights can be way more useful on this map. And just adding some hills, I don't know, it changes the map completely. I mean, the heavy side is still what it is, and I think it's fairly balanced. I haven't felt before like one side was definitely more dominant. Maybe in the stats it is, but I don't know. I just felt like I could play both sides and would not have much problems with it. But the thing on Paris is I only play the heavy side, regardless of the class I played, except for light tanks, obviously. But yeah, and it was pretty boring to always play the same flank over and over again, because honestly, the field doesn't win you games. I still think it's probably true. The field probably doesn't win you games. I can't say for sure until we see what happens and we see more of this map on the live servers, because it's only been up for a few weeks now. But I feel like now this is a viable option of playing. I mean, I think you can have really good games on this map in the field. I think you can play even with fast heavies where the 416 and where the Tiger, I mean, he's a bit too far back. I wouldn't play that in a heavy tank, but I would play where the 416 or the T20 played. I would play that in a 277, 5A, an IS7, maybe even an E5, a 260. So yeah, I just think it offers so much more variety, and I think that's, as I said at Airfield, this is what World of Tanks is all about. And before, you only played one place of the map, one part, that is the K line, and I guess the J line too. Now you can actually play the one line, and I'm sorry, the A line and the B line. And yeah, exactly where he's currently driving, exactly where he's at. You can also play light tanks, mediums, you can play everything. And this makes it so much better. I mean, I'm sorry, but is it so hard to make a map with variety and actually make it nice? I mean, think about the best maps in the game. Think about Himmelsdorf, for example. It's it's not 3 lanes. I mean, you could say it is 3 lanes with the hill, with the banana, and the 1-2 line, I guess. But you have a lot of buildings and a lot of places where you can play, and especially in the end game. Every part of that map is playable. And with the blimp might be even more playable, because I guess the only part that isn't playable on Himmelsdorf would be the mid, right? You can't really play the mid because everyone shoots you from everywhere, from the hill, from the city, the buildings, the 1-2 line, the train tracks. I mean, yeah, the 1-2 line, which is the train tracks, and you couldn't really play that part. But with a random event, you could even play that part. So Himmelsdorf is a great example of a good map which has stayed good actually, because Himmelsdorf is like one of the first maps in the game, and it has stayed fairly untouched, which is amazing. So Paris, this is the new zone to play. I think you can have really good games on it. I haven't so far played it actually, because I haven't played much WOT lately. Unfortunately, I would like to play some more. But really nice fire on that Love right there. That took him out. That was really good and very lucky. Because now his team, his platoon specifically, might be back in the game. He now finishes off the Tiger. And it's now a 2v4, which is even better. These changes on the field will undoubtedly make this map so much better. I mean, so much better. It's literally almost double the size of what you can play on this map. And I cannot stress out how important this is. Being able to play a map everywhere is huge. I mean, maps should literally be designed to be able to be played everywhere, right? And this map kind of has it now. You cannot play the mid that much, but actually now you can. I'm sorry. Now you can play the mid as much, because a lot, I guess, because now you have those hills and you can actually reach the middle from the C and the D line, right? Like around this area. So it's amazing actually. It's absolutely amazing. This is now one of the most versatile maps in the game. I guess it's not that great for artillery, but nobody cares about artillery, so really it's amazing. This is all I can say. It's amazing. Amazing 2v6 by the way, if you've been watching the gameplay and keeping up with it. Very nice. And how about we end this off by talking about Ensk? And actually Big Ensk. This is, by the way, a live reaction of me looking at the new map. Some nice angles around here. It's mostly gonna be unedited. I'm really sorry guys, but these are just my reactions and impressions of these maps, and there isn't much else to discuss here, and there isn't much else to edit, honestly. And I don't know how useful this window is gonna be. Probably have some nice, some nice angles around here. Very nice. If they're winning the city and they're pushing, you can definitely play this window. And yeah, you have quite a lot of angles here. Ain't gonna lie. Quite a lot of angles. Really nice. Yeah, that 1-2-1. Yeah, it's not gonna be very easy to push now, right? I mean, generally when the city was won on Ensk, it would pretty much be game over, right? And yeah, so it's really nice. So changes on Ensk. Very simple. You can really see on the mini-map, right? It's almost double the size, pretty much. They have added a light tank, medium tank, tank destroyer flank on the other side of the map. The city has mostly remained unchanged, but as I can see, it looks like the gap between the two main parts of the city has been made bigger, and this doesn't look very playable, does it? Okay, maybe this, I guess. As you can see, you also have some windows. This is a useless window. This doesn't look as good as on the other side. Whoops. Yeah, honestly, it's not as good as on the other side. I don't know where the 1-2-1 is currently. If you look on the minimap J1. Yeah, doesn't look as good as on the other side, right? You had some very nice angles. Oh, actually you have this bush, right? Yeah, this is pretty nice. Yeah, and you have this, yeah, the scorpion there. Or the Grom, I should say. What scorpion? My bad. You have some bushes behind the base. And the bases are very close to each other, by the way. Look at on the mini map how close the bases are. So the bases have been untouched, and it's just more space behind and more space in front, which is quite nice. So we have quite a few bushes around here. It's quite nice that there's no hard objects except for this. So there aren't like any overpowered positions. I guess this one is. I mean, you have some nice angles on that K91 on the FE. And I think you can probably... Yo, look at that 3 mark. You can probably get behind. Oh yeah, definitely make it a solid bush. So you can definitely play that bush very well. And you have hard cover with that house. If they don't win the east side, then that's a really good position to defend from the city, pushing you. Some more bushes and a few not solid houses right there. This does not look very good. It's very nice that they've done it this way. Again, like on airfield, no OP positions, like no positions where you have both bushes and solid cover, which is nice. It's either bushes or cover, and that's it. Except for that house we already saw. And then this is the huge change. The field has been expanded and you now have some very nice shots. Oh yeah, you can see quite a lot. If someone spots for you, yeah, as a TD, this is a very nice position. And you can probably fall back there pretty easily. We have this house as well, but this is not a solid house. So look at this, it's already have destroyed. You have some exactly the other house, exactly the same house on the other side. And you have 2 bushes, which is nice. Oh, and I see there's another solid house behind. Pretty nice. I don't know what that EBR is doing. And I got that spotted. Oh, there he is. I don't know how I got spotted and he got unlit, honestly. But yeah, there doesn't seem to be any OP TD position, which I think is great. I mean, this is what this game needs. This is really what this game needs. This looks like a very good position. Definitely seems playable. If they push, you can go behind. So this is quite a good position, actually. This is gonna be a very good position. But you had this on, I think, the old... Oh no, actually you didn't. I was thinking about Moravanka. I'm sorry. Yeah, that guy wondered why I was shooting. It's testing, obviously. And yeah, this part of the map, really nice. Really nice. I wonder how good it can get. I mean, I'm sure tanks like the EBR and the Manticore are gonna be really good on this. And you have this house, this, I don't know, broken house there. There's 3. Oh, oh. I hope I don't die here. I should be fine. Okay, so I just lost pretty much the entirety of my hit points. And yeah, this is another great thing on this map. You have this side thing, I don't know, route next to that cliff. Really nice, really nice. Again, there's more ways to play than one, right? You don't only play the top part of the map. You can play the bottom one as well. Of the hill. Now this is can it get good? Or it definitely can't. You can definitely see. Okay, so this is pretty useless, I think, unless you have very sneaky light tanks. I think you can play it. You can make that push solid. So if the EBR, my EBR, as you can see, if the EBR plays good and doesn't die in spots, I think this can be pretty good, right? But this part with the houses doesn't seem to be playable at all. You also have a similar position to the one I was in on this part of the map. And again, I think you can be seen, right? But a lot of bushes, so you can, yeah. Yeah, you can definitely get, yeah. If you get spotted, you pretty much die. I don't think there's coming back from this. But it's very hard to get spotted. Like, look how many bushes there are. And you can actually get behind them quite far, so it's very hard to get spotted. Like, very, very hard. This might be useful in some situations. It looks like No Man's Land, it looks like it's unplayable, but it might not be. Can you maybe knock this tree off as well, making it a almost double bush? Can you make it transparent? You can make it transparent as well. So okay, this is really good, and you would knock this tree down as well. Yeah, this actually could be nice for some very sneaky tanks and very fast tanks as well, because enemies are gonna get there quickly. They're probably gonna spot you crossing, and if they do, you're cooked. I wonder if you can hide behind this. Okay, you can, but how useful is this gonna be? Can you actually have an impact from here? I really don't think so. And if they win this flank, you're doomed. And you're also probably not gonna get a lot of damage, yeah. So this is not very useful. Not very useful. So this island might be No Man's Land, might be good for some fast sneaky tanks like the Leo and obviously light tanks. The EBR will probably be good, but why would you play the EBR there? You can definitely play it somewhere else. The same good TD position on this side like it was on the other side. But that's pretty much it with this. Overall, some good changes, and I think that's gonna be it for this episode, guys. This is very nice. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. I think amazing changes overall to this map, and actually all these maps. Very good. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in another one. Bye bye.